college admission secrets.
Welcome. My name is Coach Tony. I'll be your host for this little fun training today. For those who are new, every single Tuesday evening or most Tuesday evenings, I go live. I can just share some thoughts, teach you guys some really cool things. For those who don't know me, Coach Tony here. I used to be one of UC Berkeley's external admission readers. Every single day, I read a bunch of applications of students who wanted to attend UC Berkeley. I read their apps. I recommended yes to the students that I felt would be a great fit to get in. I recommended no to students that they were good, but not good enough to get into the school. Did that for a few years, read over 20,000 applications. You start to learn a few things, right? You learn, hey, this is what the yes kids did and how they got in. This is what the no kids did. They didn't get in. So pretty much how this kind of Facebook group kind of started and how it has evolved is I'm just going to share you guys all that. If that's okay with you guys, I'm going to share you guys some things. Yes, do more of these. No, don't do more of these. So if you guys have been in our groups, you guys know we host a bunch of trainings on like UC academics, UC activities, and the UC application process itself. That being said, I'm pretty sure everyone here, you are maybe applying or thinking about applying to one of the UC schools, LA, Berkeley, and all the other 9 UCs as well. But I'm sure your child's also considering other schools, other Cal State schools, other private schools, in-state, out-of-state privates there. So one thing to keep in mind is that, in fact, a lot of the stuff that we recommend students do when it comes to UC success is pretty much the exact same thing we have our students do when it comes to success at all colleges as well. So in today's training session, College Admission Secrets 6th to 12th grade roadmap. So how we went about today's topics of the roadmap and talking about this today, I was like, why reinvent the wheel? So what we did is our coaches have actually designed a 6th to 12th grade roadmap that we actually use for our coaching students. So I was like, why make things up? Why kind of do a lot of extra work that we need? I tell families all the time, we like to work smart. Yes, we already work hard. Let's work a little bit so smart. The exact roadmap I have here today is the exact roadmap that our team takes all of our coaching students through. So what that means is that if you're watching this and you're taking notes for yourself, this is what I would do with your child if they were part of our program. On the flip side, if they are part of our program, this is what should expect from us. So that's like a win-win for everyone there. Again, we've been sending so many students to so many top schools, a lot of us being the UCs, UCLA, UC Berkeley, and all the other UCs as well. If you guys are interested, last week we did a training where I actually revealed what one of our students, our recent students who got into all six of her UCs that she applied to, LA, Berkeley, I think San Diego, Irvine, and a few other, 2 more of them. She applied, she got into all 6 of 6. So I showed what her activities looked like, and I showed you guys kind of what she started writing about in her PIQs. That being said, the roadmap today, we're going to talk about what we will go through for all 6 grades. So a few things before we get started, I do want to share this. Today's training is brought to you by College Admission Secrets. So one little quick message before we get started for today. So dear 6th to 12th grade parents, if you guys are interested in seeing if our team can help you guys get into their top choice colleges, for those who don't know, we do offer a comprehensive college admissions coaching program designed to virtually hold your child's hand step by step through the entire process. We help our kids get into all the top schools. If you're in our Facebook group, you'll see all these success stories of all these students, all these parents. They pretty much followed what we told them to do, and they did it as well. So if you guys are interested, we do first want to make sure, can we help you? We cannot help everyone. I've learned that during this 15 years now. So we can't help every single person. So what we do first is we're like, hey, let's book a free 15-minute session to see if we can help you guys out. So on this 15 seconds, there is no sales pitches, right? I know people don't like that. I don't like that either. First 15 minutes, no sales pitches. We're just going to ask you a few questions about your child and share a few recommendations. Those who have done it before, you guys know that's pretty much what we do on these sessions here. And then if you guys don't want to work with us or it's not a good fit for whatever, it's fine. We still want to give you guys recommendations to help you guys out with that process, okay? But if you do want to chat with us and say, hey, let's continue forward, let our team know. Our team can go ahead and find a program program that would help you guys out based on what your child needs and with your budget, of course. And the best part about our coaching programs is that we're not the norm, right? For those who have talked to us before, you guys know our program's not the norm. We don't do year-by-year pricing. We don't charge hour-by-hour pricing. Our programs have one amount that's good until graduation. That means if you are a junior, so of those who message 2025, you get 2 years with us. For those who are sophomores, you got 3 years with us. Ninth graders get 4 years with us. Sixth graders get 7 years with us. And then all of them pay the exact same amount because we do a lifetime price. So why we do that, so you guys know as well too, is everyone tells me I want to join later. I'll do a senior year. But what we've learned, again, I've done 15 years. For a lot of you guys, this is your first time through the journey, second time through the journey for a second child, maybe third. By then, it's always too late. It's always too late. So we don't want to paralyze families who want to help their child. So what we do is the sooner we work with you, the better we have to help your child win, the higher success rate. In fact, this past year, the only students who couldn't get into their top choice colleges were seniors who only joined us for the purpose of their applications. But students who joined us 10th, 11th, 9th, and before have been super successful. So here is the ask and the game plan for you guys. If you guys are interested, book your free 15-minute breakthrough session with our team. On this call, again, we're going to find out where your kid's at and give you guys some recommendations. Because it's Black Friday month, you guys know I go crazy. For anyone who books their breakthrough session either this week or next week, so between, I think, the 17th and next Friday, if you book your session, it's a free call, book your time, we're throwing in 3 bonuses for you guys. Number 1, this doc, there's 21 pages in this doc. I'm going to send it to those who book. Those who didn't book, you got to take old school notes today, right? Take notes on your own. But those who book their free call, I'll send you guys this doc that I'm going to review today. Number 2, I'll give you all of our trackers. Our UC GPA tracker to help your child track their GPAs. Our GETSI reference sheet. Those of you guys know I'm really big on dual enrollment. By the way, that's in our roadmap today. We have a reference sheet to help you find out exactly what classes are transferable. That's a free bonus. Our activity tracker, because a lot of our seniors, right, they're like, what I do 4 years, as you track it, as you go through, much easier there. And we have a private Q&A group session with myself for those who are interested. It will not be at 6, it'll be at 5. It'll be next Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Those are my 3 bonuses to entice you guys to, if you want to book your breakthrough session with our team, go ahead and do that. With that being said, let's get started with today's training as well. In Facebook, one of the parents in the Facebook group just commented this in the chat for today. They're like, before I forget, tell you, I appreciate how you do not gatekeep and keep it real. And of course, your passion, which is second to none around this topic, not my first rodeo of college coaches, is powerful and helpful. Thank you. Thank you. These words are super nice. It makes me feel good, you know, the warm and fuzzies. Let's get started today. So again, why do we start at 6th grade? Could you have to start at 6th grade? No, you definitely do not have to start at 6th grade, but we have families that do. So here is for those who have young ones, this is what we recommend to 6th grader if you're starting. Does that mean if you're not starting at 6th grade, it's too late? No, definitely not at all. A lot of our families kind of start 9th grade or start 10th grade. It'll work. But you notice that it's much easier to like get yourself on pace and keep it that way. It's really hard to play catch up. So that's why we say, hey, whenever you can, start earlier. If you are aiming for those kind of bigger schools, those kind of more competitive schools, a lot of our Ivy League students, they start with us in middle school because, again, extra years that you can tack on, little spoilers for the future, right? When you're sharing your activities in the application, most activities are 4 years, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. People who don't know this, but now that you guys know this, activities, if you started in 7th or 8th grade, you can actually share that I did this activity for 5 years. 6 years, 7 years, potentially longer. Fun little story for those who don't know. I used to run a childcare center, and what we did, we taught students sports, right? Taught students sports, and we exposed them to a bunch of different sport options. And during that, our students were like, they're really good in soccer. We told their parents that, hey, put your child in soccer, like all the soccer things. As a result of that, a lot of our students who are going to grow up in that environment, they're exposed to soccer. They start with us at 5 years old. If they continue soccer, that's 13 years potentially of soccer you can share on your activities. Compare a child who has 13 years of soccer versus a student with 4. Not saying 4 is not impressive, but look at that comparison right there. A student stuck to something for 13 years. Very impressive there. So what we tell our students when they usually start, let's start with a personality test, especially if students have no clue. Again, they're 11. They have no clue, realistically. Even a lot of our seniors still have no clue. So taking a personality test or a strength test to understand who they are, is that determine who they are as a person? No. You guys know this. Parents know this. The child's gonna change. They're gonna change their interests. They're gonna change how they are as a person. This is one of those when students tell me, I have no clue. This is where we start with them to give them a direction. That's kind of the goal. I think skipping ahead to high school a little bit. I don't feel students need to know what they want to major in as a 12th grader. And those who feel that's the case, unrealistic. Think about parents when you were 17. Did you know what you wanted to be? And for the one or two parents, like, I knew I was going to be a doctor, I'm a doctor. For the rare 1-2% of you, right, you knew, but majority of 17-year-olds have zero idea. Most college students still have zero idea what they want to do. So as a result, I always tell students in high school, the goal is to figure out your direction of what you want to study. Because again, your direction doesn't really change too much, but I use the direction. Same thing as you go back a little more back, we're in middle school now, find a direction of kind of the angle that you want to go. Do you want to be more STEMmy, the sciences, the maths, or are you more of the humanities, the English, the history? Because again, could there be students who do both? Yeah, but usually the students do have a preference between one and or the other. So take a personality test, strength test, establish extracurriculars, right? This is one of the things you'll notice a lot of our middle school years. We only have a few middle school families here, so I'll speak through this section. The biggest thing you can do in middle school is a few things, right? One, extracurriculars do start counting that if you started in middle school. For those, for example, little poll question, anyone here in like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the Scouts, stuff like that, right? A lot of you guys probably started as a Cub Scout or like a Brownie, and you continued it all the way through high school. That's the key though. You have to continue. You can't just take a big break in between because there's not integrity to say you did it. But if you did do, like for example, that in chat, right? We did Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. They probably started when they were much younger, when they were 5, when they were maybe let's say 10, and they stick with it all the way to get their Eagle, to get their Gold Award. That's gonna be what, 6, 7, 8 years of an activity. Most high school students max out at 4 because most of them start thinking about stuff freshman year. Even a lot of the students don't even start thinking until sophomore year. So that's like 3 years. So the longer it is, that's one of the big keys of the activity section is commitment. How long are you going to stay in a certain activity? So we help our students identify what activities would be good with them. We talk about the idea of a life goal plan. Realistically, what do you guys really want? You guys don't, again, reality, I've done this 15 years now. You guys don't really care what schools your kids go to. Why you guys want your kids to go to a really good school, top-notch school, or the best they could be? One, of course, their potential, but more important, like, hey, if they go to this nice school, this good school, they're going to be set up well. When they go into the world after college, they're going to get a good paying job, right? Why is that important? So they're able to take care of themselves. You just want your child to be happy and healthy. That's ultimately the thing. I've done this 15 years now. A lot of people feel different things, but pretty much at the end of the day, my first batch of students, they're in their 30s. All families truly, truly want their kids to be happy, healthy. And happy, again, people like money, right? Money, I think, falls under happy. If you make a lot of money, you'll be more happier. That's kind of the big core. So for us, we tell our students, like, that's what you want to keep in the back of your head. A lot of other people they talk about go to college, but a lot of our students don't get why, right? Don't get why they're going to college. So I think for me is helping them understand, like, college is a stepping stone. A lot of you guys are stressing out about something that's only going to happen in the next 4 years for a lot of you guys. That's it. Then what? You're stressing over 4 years. I'd rather make sure that our students understand their next 40. They're happy in their career. They're happy doing things that they're doing. They're happy that they can take care of themselves, take care of their families. That's, I think, is what's really, really important, right? The school, you guys know stories. Students go to all types of schools. They all turned out decent. But for us, that life goal, I think, is what big thing we push. Summer camps, if it's available to them, plan the things they want to join. Some middle schools do have clubs and activities already. So we have them, hey, explore it, right? There's no right or wrong thing. It's more like just taste the rainbow right now. Go try everything out. This is probably the other big one in middle school, on top of like identifying what career path they kind of want to go down, on top of understanding what activity they should be doing. Third thing is habits, study habits. The difference between students who get it in school and students who struggle a little more is not because they're smarter or not. It's just the students who get it, they just have better study strategies, better study habits is the biggest thing. So we tell our students, hey, let's explore that. Because again, for the most part, your grades in middle school doesn't really matter. So for us, let's understand that. And our goal is to be successful in the high school realm, understanding studying. One of the pro tips, by the way, parents, right, is your child's going to tell you they study better listening to music. That is 100% biologically, factually wrong. They cannot study better with that unless they're listening to like no word music where there's nothing to focus on. But usually they're probably listening to top 40, I don't know, people listen to nowadays, things with words, music with words. And because of that, you cannot study. Your brain literally cannot focus that way. So one of the things I tell our families is that when you get to high school, you don't want to spend more than 3 hours doing homework per day. It should be less. And even 3 hours is like maxing out everything you can. So the biggest thing here is that how do we keep it low is we want to make sure that the student, when they're studying, they're studying. They're not talking to their friends and studying. They're not listening to YouTube and studying. They're not listening to music and studying. They're just studying. During studying, then spend the time to do whatever else they want after. So study skills there, improving their writing skills, getting their fundamentals down, working on communication, networking. This is a big one. I think one of the big things, again, these are all that kind of soft skills. You guys know students who do really well is not because they're getting smart. They just understand what to do. They ask the right questions. They do what they need to do. They talk to people. If students need support with that, the fundamentals, the foundations, we help them with that, help them review their interest, seamlessly opportunities online for them, right? There's a lot of opportunities online stuff, youth programs that they can do, any community service. I could start it as early as middle school. That continues on as well. Those who love reading, there's reading programs, finding a mentor to help them out with everything as well. I think this is one of the big things. Why reinvent the wheel? Why make life harder for yourself? Our goal is to speed through life if we can. Stand on the shoulder of giants, aka our team and I have done this many times. There's no need to guess and like, oh, I wonder if this works. No, just ask us, hey, does this work? I'm like, no, that does not work, or don't do that, do this instead. So as that. On top of it, physical health, again, healthy and happy, guys. It's one of the things that you realize, like I was sick like 2 weeks ago, the week that we didn't have a training, right? One of the first times we didn't have a training either for a long time. But you see, I was useless. I was so useless. I couldn't do anything, couldn't help anyone, couldn't do anything because I was sick. So again, at the end of the day, right? Same thing. I think everyone here is going to face it. We all eventually, health, that's the ultimate thing that attacks all of us. So keeping our students as healthy as they can be throughout the whole thing, that's a big one. Not just physically, mentally too. Again, one of the things I tell families, like, I never want to break any of our kids. Yes, I'm a coach. We're going to push them to the limit. I'm not going to like, yeah, you're good. No, I'm going to push them in a healthy way because I know they can do really well. And I think for me, I'm fortunate to have really amazing coaches, role models who pushed me to my limit, but no one ever broke me. And I think that's the thing we have our students. We never want to break any of our students, right? We want to push them though. Definitely a healthy level of pushing them to their limits there and making the students, this is our program thing, but make sure to check in with us on a weekly. We have quarterly checks, monthly checks, weekly checks with our kids. That's why a lot of our kids kind of slip through the cracks because we check with them so often there, right? So that's 6th grade. Okay, I'm going to speed through because again, it's last 7th to 8th grade, similar thing. 7th grade, summer plan, we start doing stuff. Idea of a personal project. This is the first time you'll see this. You'll see it a lot more throughout this thing. Personal project, something kind of we coined. You guys care about passion projects, all these other things as well. The biggest thing to keep in mind, this idea is that when people do things that look good, aka start nonprofits, aka internships, aka research, all these things look good, but what does it tell me about the student? And usually it doesn't tell me much about the student. They're just trying to check boxes to make themselves look good is the thing there. For us, we like, let's reverse engineer the whole process. What do readers want at the end of the day? The readers want to know who the student is. So what we work backwards. Here's who the student is first. Then we help the student identify a project they can work on that allows them to tap into that identity of who they are. And then so when they share on their apps, it's not like I'm forcing this thing to make me look good. This is literally who I am. This is me in a nutshell. And they're able to expand on that way more. Stay healthy, study habits. If they need to, high school, some people's high school is a little different here, right? Some start 8th, some start 9th. Review roadmap to prepare for 7th grade transition. addition, classes. This is one of the first things in middle school. Certain classes can start counting for high school. The two subjects that allow for this, one is math, the other one is language other than English. So if you start, let's say you took Algebra 1 in 8th grade or 7th grade, that will transfer into high school and you're done with that class. You get to move on to the next one. Or language, you took Spanish 1 at a middle school, that will transfer over to high school. And you're able to do that. Same thing, keep track of all of our check-ins there. And again, healthy relationships with everyone around you. Last of middle school is, again, reviewing the plans. Keep doing the personal project if that's something you're doing as well too. You're noticing the personal project will be a theme throughout the entire thing there. Next one, determine the classes that will be a good fit for the interest of the student and based on what they're at. Learn about high school in general for them. Make sure they're in the right coursework for the students there, and checking with our team. Check. Setting short-term, long-term goals. This is when with like that transition between 8th and 9th grade for a lot of our families. So I'm learning to teach them how to set goals, short-term goals, long-term goals, help them build strong study habits. Time management, that's a big one. A lot of parents tell me like, hey, my child sucks at time management. Like, we got it. That's one of the big things that we prioritize for our students. Healthy relationships, checking in with us there. So that's quick run through of middle school. 9th grade, right? So our 9th grader, we have our students help talk to our team to help make sure the classes are good to go based on their schedule and activities and all that. Finding summer opportunities. By the way, it is November right now. End of this month, December, is when you should be keeping an eye out for summer opportunities. Be on the lookout. I'm sure one of our trainings in the next few weeks will be about summer opportunities. You give everyone a heads up of what to expect next. So some opportunities for the students, because now is a good time to start thinking about or start planning this stuff. Look into dual enrollment classes for those who are new to like, what is DE? Coach Tony loves dual enrollment, right? Dual enrollment is the idea that your child's taking a community college class at a local community college and it's getting them college credit as long as they take the right classes. What's the right classes? Go on Google, look up your community college, look up IGETC. IGETC stands for the Intersegmental General Education Transfer Curriculum. These classes are 100% transferable to all the UCs, all the Cal States, a lot of private schools. Not all the private schools, but a lot of private schools. So if your child is going to dual enroll, I don't recommend taking like a lot of families who like doing CS, like, let me have my child take a Java or Python or this and that class, or my kid likes business, let me have them take a business class. I'm like, no, those classes don't transfer. So useless. Again, I like to work smart. Can you? Of course you can. Doesn't hurt either. Helps them show their interest. But there's other ways to help them show their interest besides taking those classes. I'd rather, if you can take dual enrollment, take classes that will transfer, that will get you the credit. So look up IGETC. It's a table. Look for area 3, area 4. Take classes from this list. That's what I recommend starting first. Then once you max out 3 and 4, then we expand out to the other areas. Next one, activities. You guys starting seeing that's a big theme so far here. Activities, clubs, organizations, community service, anything aligned with interest and passion. There's no right or wrong thing. I have students who do a lot of volunteering. I have students who play a lot of sports. I have students who love clubs. I have students who do a lot of random things. There's no right or wrong pathway. That's what makes, I think, my job really fun. For a lot of you parents, really stressful. Like, oh my goodness, there's so many options. What do I pick? That's the beauty of it. We can do whatever we want with this time. So finding things that is a perfect fit for your child. And again, that's a little cheat code, by the way. Parents, a little cheat code for you guys. Let your child do what they like to do, what they want to do. You'll find out it's way easier for them to do that, and they hit more hours so fast because of that. Math. If any students are like in the STEM fields, engineering fields, we gotta jump ahead if not have to. I recommend seeing we can jump ahead, moving ahead. It's one of the areas that you can jump a lot of your friends and your peers, because that's who your child's gonna be compared against, their peers. So if they're going to be in the STEM kind of field, engineering, math, science, all that stuff, let's figure out how we can elevate them with reason. So we don't, going back to the previous thing, right? We don't want to break our students, but we want to, if they can do it though, why not do it? So as that, again, we have our students check in with us to make sure they're good to go weekly. Relationship, like testing, the first test they may take, and they probably will take, 10th grade PSAT. So that test means nothing, but it's a good gauge. And so based on that score, we usually tell our students what to do after that. Summer activities, planning that out. Excuse me. For those who don't know, we do have a financial aid kind of division under us. I don't know too much about it because I don't do too much about that. But Coach David, those who have met him, he runs that, and he's been helping our families get tens and thousands of dollars for typically families who don't qualify. Parents who think they make too much money. I make 100,000 in California. I'm going to get no aid. He specializes in helping families who make a lot of money get free money for colleges. Our students who are also enrolled in that program get to work with him, and again, check-ins with our team there. 10th grade, right? Again, summer. You guys know summer's a big theme so far. Do summer stuff. Dual enrollment courses, another big thing. Summer plans as well too. Or continue working on that personal project. The first few years we established it. Now we're growing. This is how you make it from good to amazing. Again, finding more summer opportunities for them to do as well. There's a lot of things in there for summer. There's camps, there's research, there's internships, and personal projects. There's no right or wrong. A lot of people are like, oh, I have to do this. I'm like, why? Why do you have to do that? And the answer is no, I don't have to do anything. So for us, like, cool, let's just find something for your child to do for them to explore what they like to do is pretty much the big things there. Aligning yourself with the right clubs, because we are setting ourselves up. We know next year, the following year, leadership is going to be a big component. Let's make sure we set ourselves up there. Tests, right? Hey, by the end of sophomore year, your child's going to know that, hey, I took my PST, I got this score. Quick little like chart for you guys. PSAT you take sophomore year, the score has no difference. Perfect score, zero score means nothing. If your child did have a good score, I do recommend them study a little bit for their PSAT junior year. That qualifies them for national merit. National merit, potential full ride scholarship there. That PSAT sophomore year also gives us an indication if they're going to do well on the SAT and or ACT. You guys know schools, UCs went completely blind. Cal State went blind. A lot of schools went optional. A few schools stayed required. So if you're going to a required school, example, MIT is one of those schools that stayed required. It's one of the handful of schools that are required. We're going to plan to take it. But if you're like a lot of our students who are doing the blind and optional, it depends on your everything. So if you're really, really strong academically, there might, and you're not that great a test taker, there's an argument that we will say, like, probably let's not do it. It's not worth it. It's not going to help you. Versus your grades are a little lower, but you're a strong test taker. Cool. Let's maybe take it. If you're somewhere in between, it's a very case-by-case basis after that to figure it out there. Okay. We do refer Magoosh. Magoosh is a company I used to work at. They're located in the Bay Area. I used to run their high school division. Love them. They're amazing. Definitely, if you guys are interested in test prep and looking for an affordable solution, I think there's like $100 for a year access with expert tutors. So definitely could do them. I have a discount code. If those who need it, let me know. I'll pass on my savings to you. Figure out the SE makes sense for you because, again, not all our students did. Keep in mind, last year, we sent 20 of our kids to the Ivies. 15 of those 20, I told them not to take the SAT. It was a scary moment, and all of them, they're like, what? I was like, yeah, don't do it. And then it all paid off. All 20 students got in. The 5 that I told to take it, they took it. It helped them out. The 15 that didn't take it, they didn't take it. They all got in. So again, it depends case by case. Like, you can go through a little mini chart, kind of just walk through. That's kind of how you kind of figure out why, like, should you not. Again, math, can you get ahead? We have events, join the events, testing, deciding the testing path, things you need to work on, improve that. Counselor, make sure you're going to graduate. What I tell families is my job is to help your child get into the top choice colleges. Your counselor's job is to help you graduate. I'm going to assume that if you're going to work with us, your child will be fine. They're going to graduate from high school. So our goal is the next thing. That in mind, we will butt heads, right? A lot of our coaching families know this. Me and their counselors kind of butt heads because of our recommendations and their counselor recommendations sometimes are a little different because, again, their goal is to help you graduate from high school. Our goal is to help you place into a top school. So keep that in mind there. You still want to have positive relationships with your teachers and think, because again, now we're starting to get close to letters of rec season. So get ready there. We check in with our students, and that's that. I see that's 10th grade there. 11th grade, the fun year, I would say. Now we're upping our classes, right? Our rigor is shooting up. Either that means an AP for some students, IB for others, AP, IBs, and also dual enrollment for other students. Enrolling in dual enrollment, right? And another little cheat code when it comes to academics. Again, keep the relationship with your teachers. This is the year, if you're taking the SD, ACT, this is probably the year you're going to take it. Usually it's going to be like in the springtime. So a lot of our students now are starting to study for their test in the spring for those who are taking it. Talk to our team, figure out what you're doing for so we can help you out with that. Summer plans. Again, summer still matters. If you know, summer still matters. By the way, summer classes also matter. I definitely recommend you guys take a summer class. The cool thing about dual enrollment, if you're doing that, dual enrollment classes, a lot of the IGETC approved courses are offered online. So for those who traveling this summer or traveling for summers or you're going to be busy, whatever, you can probably still squeeze in the time, especially if you still have access to the internet. You can probably squeeze in 1 or 2 classes over summer and still be okay. even if you're traveling. This is when we start to figure out, hey, now what's our college list going to look like? What's our majors are going to start looking like? Again, you notice we haven't done this earlier enough. Early is like, hey, what's the idea looking like? Now is like, let's start to get grad, because now they're 16, 17. They're starting to finally understand about who they are. And now we start to talk about this. Keep working that personal project for them. Keep checking in with our team as well too. Again, at the end of the year, ask the teachers for letters of recs. You don't probably need them right now, but it's more like asking, hey, by the way, can I get a letter of rec from you? And they're going to say yes or no. And most likely is yes. Like, cool, I'll give you more information when I'm there in this fall time. Okay. 12th grade. This is the exact same plan we have our students do, and we nuance it, right? So every single student of ours is a little different based on what they're doing, what they want, based on their school, based on their interests. But this is like the general kind of like layout for a lot of our students. For those who want the handout, like I mentioned, right? I'm bribing you guys. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I'm bribing you guys. For those who are interested in working with our team, book your 15-minute breakthrough session. So a 12th grade is really back to back the first semester, because that's like pretty much chill. One, are you applying to early action, early decision schools? Then we have our students complete the 4 drafts of the PIQs. We have them do this early, because then we have the students complete our workbooks. Our workbook is basically every single thing that the schools ask you in an easy form. So once we edit that for our students, they just copy and paste every single line into the application itself. Our students who are applying to the common application are also doing the common application workbook. The UCs have the 4 PIQs. Common application for the privates and out of states, they have the personal statement, which is 650 words, plus their supplements for all the schools. Next one, put all the supplemental questions from the common app, because all the schools you'll see will have their own different questions. For those who are interested in financial aid, talk to Coach David. He's our financial aid expert. Any seniors right now, by the way, 2024, who's still interested in talking to Coach David, write Coach David's name somewhere, and I'll go ahead and connect you with him so you guys can get connected with him. Again, dual enrollment can be fit in senior schedule. The answer, by the way, is yes, do that. Senior schedule still matters, so definitely make that happen. If you still need letters of rec, do that. Keep in mind, UCs, Cal States do not need or at the beginning, at the point of submission, they do not need letters of rec. The reason why I say that is, by the way, for those who are applying to UCs, seniors, next month and in January, some of you may get it's called it's another application. If you do get it, they won't tell you why you got it, but realistically, you're in the maybe pile. Is a cheat code, is a cheat answer for you guys, so you guys know. You're in the maybe pile, you gotta convince yourself yes. Then the UCs will ask you for 2 letters of recs at that point. There. Talk to your counselors about transcripts. Talk to us about your activities so we can help you advise you for senior year itself. Apply to the EA. Pick your EA, ED schools, because again, a lot of your schools are either option. The UCs don't do this, but the private schools allow you to apply early to find out early is the biggest thing there. It is advantageous for certain schools to do the early action, early decision than others. We have a workbook, complete the workbook. We have our students review their apps, their essays for the early action first, get that done. Our students attend a intensive workshop. For those who don't know, every single year, every single summer, we throw a bunch of weekends of events called the College Application Intensive Weekends. We have a UC CSU one and a Common App one. We help your child start and finish their entire app in 2 days, or get as much done as they can in 2 days there. And 2025 families, we are running a Black Friday special on that. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. If any schools have any early deadlines, do that. Make sure you submit your early action schools and the one ED. ED is your early decision. You pick one school and you're committing to that if you get in. ED schools, if you get into that school, you're locked into that school compared to all the other ones. FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. Definitely do that. I don't care what your income is. Everyone should do it. Next one, again, letters of rec for those who need to do that. Complete the draft, submit that. Or coaching families, our Advantage and Blueprint concierge families, we do the final send-off call with you guys to make sure you guys are good to go. And after that, you're pretty much doing the supplemental essays for the common application for all the regular private schools. That's due later. For those in our financial aid program, you're gonna work with Coach David to get your tax forms done with him, to make your UC apps, work on the supplemental essays, review them. Our team will check it. You send it off and do all those weekly check-ins, and you should be done with that. We have a question here. Is algebra taken in 7th grade counted towards GPA? No. The credit in middle school gets transferred over. The grades do not. Does an A or B count? No. So if you got an A in a class, doesn't matter. If you got a B in the class, doesn't matter. Specifically, the only class that will count for this is math or language other than English. For those who are curious, like, oh, why? There's something called validation. So what that means is that, let's say you lied. Let's say hypothetically you lied about taking algebra 1, but you didn't. You lied about taking Spanish 1, but you didn't. So what that means is, let's say you say it, the school's going to assume that you were true. Okay, some schools will fact check you and like, you didn't pass it. But assuming they say, yeah, you did. In math and language, there's a concept called validation. In high school, especially if you're in California, you need 3 years of math. 3 years starting at Algebra 1. So Algebra 1, geometry, which is the must-have for math for UCs. And the last one is Algebra 2. Algebra 2 validates Algebra 1. So hypothetically, if you skipped Algebra 1, never took it, but you took Algebra 2 and you passed it, passing Algebra 2 validates Algebra 1. Same thing, language, 2 years of language, required 3 years recommended. With the second year, let's say you skipped Spanish 1, but you took Spanish 2, Spanish 2 would validate you for Spanish 1. That's why those are the only 2 subjects that count that way. The other doesn't. Let's say you took like earth science in 8th grade, that doesn't count for anything really, or it doesn't validate anything in high school. So the only 2 subjects that will count, math, language, right? Only 2, but grades don't transfer over or kick in at all there. Okay. Can you tell more about personal project? Yes, this is the understanding. You call it whatever you want to call it. That's what we call it internally for our program. The idea of a personal project is, again, this is skipping ahead, right? This is like skipping ahead to seniors. Seniors, when they're right now, our seniors who are applying to colleges, the most important thing we tell them all the time, it's not what you did, it's who you are. That's what readers look for. But a lot of them on their first drafts, when we're looking at like, oh, this is a lot about what you did. As a reader, that's cool. I don't really learn too much about you, about what you did. What I really want to learn is who you are. Because think about it this way. Let's say a student plays soccer in high school and he talks about playing soccer on his apps. The question is the student still going to play soccer in college? Maybe, maybe not. Because if he does, then what he says kind of applies. But if the student stops playing soccer, which is again very normal, most students stop doing most things they do in high school, in college. If they do that, then what does that really tell me about who the student is, right? That's why the what doesn't matter too much compared to the who. Let's say you talk about soccer, but they talk about like them never giving up or perseverance, things about them. Soccer as the stepping stone to talk about who the student is as a result of that thing of soccer. Because if I learned that the student doesn't give up, this and that doesn't matter where they go, they're going to be able to take that with them to that 4-year school. So that's the idea of the who versus the what. Going deep, let's tie that in again also. Let's say the student loves soccer. One of our students loves soccer. And for me, I'm like, cool. If you love soccer, next thing for the activities is that colleges want to see how you spend your time. That's pretty much what activities are, how you spend your time. Our goal is to maximize your hours per week. Maximize those hours per week. If you guys taking notes, what we tend to recommend to our students, if you're applying to like the UCs, like I don't say regular UCs, the UCs in general, you should be aiming for over 20 plus hours a week of activities. If you're aiming for schools like LA, Berkeley, we have our kids aim for 25 to 30 hours per week and or even higher of activities. And it sounds like a lot, but it's not really a lot. If you do the math, it's like, oh, it's only a few hours a day. The big thing there is, again, how do I help our students hit that number that they need to hit in the most efficient way? I understand that readers don't care what the kid does, right? In the sense of like what they do. They do care, but again, not in the sense that you guys think it does. But what they do care is, as a result of this, who is the student? So what I do, I'm like, I understand that if a student does something they enjoy, they're doing something that's who they are. As a result, we help our students, cool. Little Johnny, you love soccer. What's something we can do to tie in soccer to something that you care about, something that you like, something you want to do, blah, blah, blah. So quick example, right? Here's a quick example of a personal project that we have one of our seniors right now doing. So we met her, she joined the program 9th grade. And I asked her, hey, what do you like? She told me, I love business. I was like, cool. Like, she wants to be a business person. I'm like, cool. Where did that come from? After talking a lot, we ended up, the story became in middle school, her mom works a lot too. So a single family household, her mom works a lot, but the one thing they spent time doing together is watching Shark Tank. So her and mom watches that. She's really close to mom because, again, single family household, they grew up together, struggled a little bit with everything else. So for her, I'm like, cool, well, let's do something in the business space. The 9th ninth grade, you don't know much still. What's something we could do to help you, one, explore the business space more so you learn about it, but something else about you? And so as we kept talking with her, she told me, hey, I really loved my summer camp. She's been going to a summer camp every single summer. I'm like, cool. And she told me, like, hey, what if you made your own summer camp? She'd been to one like for a few years. I'm like, so you know how they run. Can you replicate that on your own? She was like, I think so. I'm like, cool. So our first summer with her, so this is summer between 9th and 10th grade for her, she hosted a summer camp teaching middle school kids. That's when she got her interest in business, teaching middle school kids about business. It was a 1 week long program. She got local business owners to judge, and then the final part of the summer camp is like a Shark Tank kind of pitch. The kids pitched their ideas and their local business owners kind of said yes or no, and kind of like a fun, good, bad kind of thing way. And that was her first summer. She had like 6 to 8 kids, I think, her very first year. And I'm like, cool, let's grow it. So now you have that. And I was like, how's it? She loved it. She got to explore more about business because she had to learn to teach others. So she learned a lot more about it. At the same time, she saw the impact on others. So then I was like, let's get bigger and bigger and bigger. So then we started helping her grow this to get bigger and bigger and bigger. She's a senior with us right now. She's applying to colleges with us. This past summer was her last camp that she threw. She had 130 middle school students with a full volunteer staff helping her out run the entire thing. So the question I have for you guys is, how many other kids have you heard put on a summer camp program, grew it from 6 to 8 kids all the way to 130 kids, tying into a subject that she enjoys? Isn't that standing out? When people talk about standing out, people like, let me do research, internships. Like, no, everyone does those. How do you really stand out, do something unique? That's our definition of the standing out, being unique. But here's where it gets fun, right? Here's where it gets fun for you guys, right? So for seniors, I think you guys can assume this was one of her prompts that she's trying to write about in her college apps. She spent less than 1 paragraph talking about the summer camp. All this work, all this stuff, less than 1 paragraph about the summer camp. The rest of the prompts talked about her doing this, her wanting to go into business to take care of her mom, and why she wants to take care of her mom, and spending the time with her mom and doing all this stuff, getting where she's at, breaking through that. Because again, at the end of the day, the summer camp is the what. From Maria's point of view, what do you learn about her? Cool, she can put together a really cool event. Awesome. I'm sure other kids can do too. But what's unique about this student, this individual, she's driven by a goal. She's driven. She wants to succeed really badly to take care of her family, take care of herself and her family. What type of student do you guys want? Someone who can just do a really impressive thing, or someone who's driven by a goal that's bigger than herself? Boom. Mic drop. One is the workshop included if you enroll in the service, the 2-day workshop. The 2-day workshop is included for our coaching families. So if you're one of our coaching families, Advantage or Blueprint, you do get a UCCSU weekend and a Common App weekend. Do you have to go both? No. If you're only applying to UC Discount States, go to UC Discount States. If you are applying to private schools, then definitely get to go to both with us. Someone's asking for the list of dual enrollment courses. We actually have a freebie for that. For students who are enrolled, our coaching programs, it's in Discord. So if you guys go to Discord, go under our Discord resources, boom, right here. If we already had an intro call, are we eligible to book again? Could our team help you? If so, did you book your enrollment call yet? Based on that could give me a better idea of what it is. If it's been like a year since we chatted last, feel free to book a call. I asked about easy 20 hours. Is it one or total? Could be both, but the idea is total. So it could be like, realistically, we do know a few students. We do know students that they do have 20 hours plus for one thing on their schedule. So that is normal. Not normal, but that does happen. But when I say 20 hours or more, it's 20 hours total. So it's probably a few activities. Our package prices given intro. Yeah, our programs range between $3,000 and $8,000, and that's the lifetime pricing. We do have higher ones, but those are currently full. So we depend what grade you're at, if it's a good fit. The first call, we won't talk about programs, so you guys know. So our team's trained to just help you out the first call. And if you guys do want to chat and decide the program between whenever you guys start till the end, 3 to 8K, depending on what you guys need, what you guys want, all that fun stuff, what fits your budget. We do have a sibling discount. Sibling discounts, 25%. First child, full price. Second child, 25% for sibling discounts. One of our newest enrollees in our coaching program, her son's an 8th grader and her daughter is a 6th grader. They're definitely maximizing our coaching program because the son's going to get 5 years with us. The daughter's going to get 7 years with us. And they pay the same price as pretty much anyone else who's going to join. Our earliest is 6th grade. So our youngest right now, we have like 3 6th graders right now in our program. Hope you guys have learned a few things for me today. Chat soon. Bye.